This is Carl at National RV Detroit. Excuse me, I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Salem Cruise Lite travel trailer, model number 19 DBXL. So we're just going to walk around and look at some of the features. We'll start right here with the stabilizer jacks. Okay, so you have regular scissor type stabilizer jacks, of course, but you have an added feature with this trailer. It's called a strong arm. Basically, when the jacks are extended and that T-handle is tightened, it'll take the forward and rearward, if that's a word, movement out of it. Just makes it more stable. The only thing you have to remember is you can see this slides inside this, right? This outer tube. So you want this open so there's no friction on it when you're raising and lowering this, right? Once you lower them, and there's of course one of these on each corner, when you lower it and you get it stabilized like you want it, then you're going to tighten that up in the down position, so this inner tube will not be able to move inside the outer one, so it'll stabilize it. But when you want to bring it back up, make sure you loosen that again. And that's really all you have to remember. Just tighten it when it's in position you want to stabilize it. Otherwise, loosen it up. That goes for all four of them, of course. Okay. All right. So if you look down here, we have a quick connect to the LP system right there. Right. So keep that in mind. Now, the reason we have that is when you extend this, you can see there's a fitting on the back here. Well, this hose, with a quick connect fitting, clips on the back of that, and then the male end goes into the female quick connect under the trailer. So that's how you connect the griddle to the gas system. Okay. All right, and then of course you have a refrigerator. Okay, simple enough. You have a power awning with LED strip. You have TV signal out plus some power if you want to put a TV outside. Outside speakers. Okay. Your front storage is here. Let me show you some of the stuff here. This is to crank your stabilizers up and down. You just put that in your drill, and you can crank them up and down. This one right here is for the power tongue jack. There's a little rubber cap, I'll show you that in a minute, on the top of the power tongue jack. If the tongue jack happens to fail, you can use this crank and crank that manually. And then this has to do with an emergency with the awning. It's something you have to read about, look at the video. It's something I can't really tell you how to do it. You sort of have to watch while you're doing it. So keep that in mind. You can get the awning in an emergency. And of course, this is a sprayer. There's going to be spray ports on this trailer, so that's what plugs in there. Okay. So this is the power tongue jack, up and down, of course. Then you have a hitch light. But also, if it fails for any reason, you can pull this plug and use that crank on it. Okay. 2 LP tanks. Full, deep with an automatic changeover regulator. You got a deep cycle marine battery, and that red key there is the kill switch for the battery. So you can shut the battery off just by turning that key to the off position. And then this is from the other side here. You have a your dump hose, and then you have this reducer to reduce your shore cord down to a 20 amp cord if you need to plug it in at home, let's say. Okay. All right. So that's the furnace. Vent. This is the vent for the range hood. So over the range you have a range hood with a light and a fan in it. If you're going to be venting to the outside, you want this baffle to flap freely, right? Anytime you're venting to the outside. Otherwise you can just keep it shut like that. But you definitely, if you're venting, you want to have that open so the air can go out, get outside. This is the city water hook up here. Most common way to get water to the trailer. You just hook the hose on there, you're all set. Now if you're camping someplace that does not have city water, whether you're boondocking or any place without city water, you can pre-fill the fresh water tank right here, and use the onboard pump to pump the water. I'll show you when we get inside where the switch for the pump is. But all the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping out of the tank. Okay, that's your power cord or your shore cord. I showed you have a reducer for that. Cable and satellite through. These are your low points right there for winterizing. And then you have your two valves, your black valve, toilet water and waste, your gray valve, is sink and shower water. Now, after you dump your black tank valve, which is toilet water and waste, you can flush it out. You leave the valve in the open position, then you would put the hose at the dump station right on here. Turn it on, it'll spray the inside of your tank out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. So just make sure, like it states on this sticker here, that you have the black tank valve in the open position when you do it. You don't want too much pressure to build up. That's where your sprayer connects. This is your water heater here. Let me just pull this off for now. Okay, so this one, let me just get this piece off here. Okay, there we go. So this one works on both gas and electric. You can see that the plug is out and is open. It's empty. This is the plug in the anode rod. It takes 1 1/16" 6-point socket. Okay. So keep that in mind. Never use this water heater empty. You always want to make sure you fill it before you use it. Okay. When you're using this on electric, there's a switch right here. If you can see it, it's a rocker switch that controls the electric heating element behind that cover. All right. There'll be a switch inside the trailer for the gas burner. Okay. So I'll show you that when we get in there. Just make sure. And also, this is bypassed, so there are bypass valves on the back of this. So when you're in the springtime, when you de-winterize and you put your bypass valves in camping mode, make sure you fill this up before you turn it on, or you'll damage the heating element. Okay. This tells us it's pre-wired for a backup camera. You can get the Furrion backup camera that fits in there. And also, while we're looking up, keep in mind the manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 60 days. You're just going to give it a look over, make sure there's no crack or separation in any of the sealant where water can get through. Make sure there's no damage to the roofing material or to the roofing attachments by, let's say, low branches or road debris flipping up there, anything like that. Just give it a good, quick inspection. That should be part of your general maintenance, so you should do that regularly. Okay, alrighty, so here we are. Well, the lens is all wet. I don't have anything to dry it off with, so we'll just have to work with raindrops on it. This is for your power awning right here. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. The awning, there, let's do it here. You can see it going out right there. You have a light. Just make sure it's always rolled in when you're not at the campsite, okay? This dimmer is for the lights. You just rub your thumb over it and they go on and off, so keep that in mind. Your water pump, I told you have a switch for the water pump. If you're pumping water out of the fresh water tank, if you don't have city water, you just do that. This water pump's also used to winterize the trailer, so keep that in mind. To light your water heater on gas is right here. Remember I showed you there's an electric switch in the lower left-hand corner? Well, this one here is for the gas. That one out there is for electric. Never run it without water in it. Battery's charged, fresh water's empty, black is empty, gray is empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments as it fills, so keep that in mind. Okay? Alright, so let's see what else we've got here. You can drop this table down and you turn this into a bed by using the back cushions, right? Of course, you got two bunks here, and then you have your Murphy bed here. I'll show you how this works. You just flip this flat. It's a jackknife sofa. So you're just going to flatten it out. Then, going like this. This is the latch for it. Going like this, you bring it down. Latches into place, and there you're all set. Very simple. And the great thing is about it, you reclaim the bed, the space for the bed, you reclaim it during the day. And you also have a nice couch to sit on. So in a rainy day or rainy weekend, you don't have to just sit on this in the dinette. You actually have a couch to sit on, which is a good thing. So to raise it, there's this, where is it here? This right here. You pull it out, unlatch it, take it up, Oops, sorry about my camera work there, I'm sorry. And then you latch it up here. And then you're going to grab it down here and then pull from up here. And you're all set again. Okay? This is an emergency window. There's also one on the top bunk. You just basically push this through, all the way through, and then you grab a hold of this tab and pull the screen out, and you can escape during an emergency. This device down here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. So if it goes off, it should always be green first of all. Let's not get it serviced. If it goes off, take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on, okay? Like I said, it detects carbon monoxide and LP gas. Alrighty. This is your furnace right here. The thermostat is over here. The only thing to remember is you go to the left to shut it off. You got to listen for this click now. Listen for this. You want it to do that when you're shutting it off, so you make sure you shut it down. While we're standing here, this is obviously the sink, obviously, but you have a GFCI here plug. Now all the plugs in the trailer are wired to this GFCI, even the one on the outside. So if you're using something outside that pops, you're going to reset it in here. Okay. Alrighty. So moving along, this device here is the power converter. Okay. So what this does, when you're plugged into shore power, you have these circuit breakers here. They're 110 AC, just like you'd have at home, and then they're all labeled, right? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled, okay? If any of those fuses were to blow, you'll actually see them glowing through this plastic, tinted plastic here. And the main thing to know is this is a battery tender, so it'll always sense how much energy your battery has. As long as you're plugged in, it'll sense how much energy your battery has, and it'll always keep it charged. So it's actually a battery charger also. So when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle alternator will charge the battery. When you're plugged into shore power, this will charge your battery. Okay? Okay. Microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood. There's the fan and the light. Remember what I said about opening the baffle outside. If you're going to be venting to the outside, you want that baffle flapping freely. Alrighty, so you open up your top here. So these three burners, or three knobs, I'm sorry, are for the three burners. This is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark, and then this is for the oven. You also have a light here. Okay, so let's see. You go to high. Now this hasn't been turned on in a while, so it's going to take a few minutes for the gas to get up here. So keep that in mind. It's going to just take a little bit. Once you're using this, once you're using this regularly, you'll just click it once in the light. Oh, come on. There we go. So, from this point on, because like I said, the air had been pushed out of the line because the tanks were just hooked up. So, so from now on, you're just going to go like this, and it's going to light. Very simple. But anytime you change out your tanks or anything like that, you're gonna have to spark it a few times to get it to light. Once you get the air out of the line, it goes quick. So all the way to the back at the bottom is a pilot light. See me sparking it right now. That's where the pilot light's at. So what you do is you go to the oven knob and you go to the picture of the flame, which means pilot light. Then you depress it. You keep it depressed during the whole lighting procedure. With your other hand, you're going to spark it by turning this clockwise until you see the flame down there light. Once you see the flame light, you still hold this down for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. And once you do, you go to the whatever operating temperature you're going to set the oven at. The thing is, when you shut it off, excuse me, the oven, the flame goes out obviously, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. Always travel with this shut. Your keys are right here hanging on the sink. This is the remote for your sound system, which is right here. Basically, this is an AM/FM radio. You can stream off of a USB port right here. You know, you could take all your favorite albums and convert them to MP3s put them on a USB drive and take them with you, right? This HDMI is an in, so once you hook up a TV set, if you hook up a TV set, and you wanted to use like a portable Blu-ray player or something, you could go into the system with it right there, okay? This also has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone or your tablet. So it pretty much does everything you need. There's 2 speaker zones, zone 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So, like I said, it does everything you need, considering you're camping. Smoke detector, I don't know, well, I'll look at that in a minute. I always like to check to see if they put the battery in there. But your bunks, of course, your bathroom. There's the light switch here. This one I have to do manually, I think. Let me see. Yeah. So the shower works like any other shower. The toilet is an RV toilet, so it has a flush pedal right there. The red you see is antifreeze, right? The black tank is directly below. So you can't use it dry. By dry, I mean you have to have chemical and water in the black tank below. So when you pull into the campground, your black tank's going to be empty because you dumped it when you left the campsite, the previous campsite. So you hook up your power and your water, then you come in here and you put 1 dose of chemical in the bowl, step on the pedal and hold it down, water will come swirling out, and stand on it long enough to put at least a gallon of water into the tank below along with the chemical. You can use more, but don't use less, so at least a gallon of water, then you're all set. It's ready to be used. If you don't do that and you use it dry, the smell will be overwhelmingly terrible, and it also can get the toilet clogged up. So you always want to make sure there's water and chemical in there. Never use it dry. If you do it dry, you'll only do it once anyway. You'll learn your lesson. So keep that in mind. Okay. Let's say you're going to stay at the campground for another week, but you had to dump your black tank. Well, then you would repeat the procedure because your black tank is empty. Now you'd come in here, you put a dose of chemical in the bowl, step on the pedal, put at least a gallon of water in there, and you're all set till the next time you dump the tank. Okay? You also have a fan and a vent cover up here, skylight. Okay, the refrigerator is a 12-volt DC refrigerator. It's got a compressor in it, but it runs on 12 volt. Okay, always keep this latch closed so you don't dent your doors. Alrighty, what else do we have here? I think we just about covered it. The air conditioner obviously has the buttons on the unit, or the controls on the unit. That's thermostat there, and then you have your 4 speeds. 2 are just fan speeds. That fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor, and then the other 2 are air conditioning low and high, so it's pretty standard, okay? Okay, so let's think here. See if I forgot anything. I think I've got it all. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting your roof. People, generally speaking, don't inspect the roof enough. That's not just this trailer, it's every trailer ever made. They all have to be inspected, so you have somebody look up there. Like I said, check out the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation. If you do see an issue, take care of it immediately. So really when you're expecting it, you're just staying ahead of things in case an issue does develop. Low branches tear the roof or something like that, or damage one of the roofing attachments. You're on top of it and you get it fixed right away and you won't have any issues, okay? So that's to protect your investment. And then third of all, this is, or second of all, whatever, this is winterized right now. So the water's been purged from the system and replaced with antifreeze. The water heater is empty and is bypassed right now. You won't be able to see back down here that well. I didn't bring my flashlight with me, but under the bed here, you can see there's the back of the water heater with the valves and everything. That's where you're going to set it to camping position, that sort of thing. Now, the cover right there is leaning up against the cabinet. Normally that's screwed into place, but they left it open for you because you have to de-winterize it. So they're just, when the spring comes, you can just do that, and then you can screw it into place if you want to. Okay. So anyway, like I said, right now this is winterized. The valves are in bypass mode, and the water heater's empty right now. Make sure when the springtime comes, you turn your valves to camping mode And always fill the water heater tank. It's got a 6-gallon tank. Always fill the water heater tank before you use it, otherwise you'll damage it, okay? Okay, thank you very much.